That's a wide body beat. That's a wide body beat. That's a wide body beat.
Yo, Panther Nation, what's good? Welcome back to Carolina's Armchair GM. I am your host, CJ. What's going on with everybody here on this Saturday morning? All right, so as the title says, the Panthers ended up 0-3 in this year's preseason after a 19-10 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, and we're going to talk about that a little bit today. But first off, okay, I want to welcome everybody. All right. If you are new to the channel on your way in, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you're on X or Facebook, make sure you like and follow. I appreciate all the love and support. Okay. But I also wanted to say too that last week there was a milestone reached here in my household. Okay. And my twins turned 16, James and Layla. And I got a picture here that I want to show everybody of all of us, from the party. Okay. So you have me right there on the on the left, trying to do my best smile, no smile. That's Mrs. Nella from Nella's Creations right there next to me. Okay, so my son James the third, he's right there with the locks in his hair. That's my daughter Layla with the dress on, and then that's my oldest son Cameron, all the way on the right with the glasses on. Okay, so yeah, that is my beautiful family, y'all, and I just want to tell everybody to to wish James and Layla a happy 16th birthday. I wish them a very special day. They had a lot of fun. Okay. Um, it was a great party, and I just wish them both the best. When I tell you I got three really good kids, I consider myself very lucky. They don't listen very much, but they don't give me a lot of trouble neither, So I do love and appreciate them, and I just want to show them off a little bit. And everybody out there, wish them a happy birthday. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so the Panthers ended the preseason 0-3. All right. The first time, let me see, we've gone winless 2 out of the last 3 preseasons. All right, and we have had at least one win in the preseason, going all the way back to 2019. Okay, I'm sorry, 2009. My bad, 2009. Um, here's they go. They listen to me. But the Panthers before these past 3 years, we had at least one win in the preseason, going all the way back to 2009. Okay, so don't really it doesn't really concern me that much, but it still wasn't what we wanted to see, as Panther fans. And I get it, it's just preseason, but then at the same time, I don't want to keep using that as as an excuse. It's just preseason. It is just preseason, but there are a lot of things that you want to see in the preseason that I think us as Panther fans were deprived of this year. Okay, I really do. All right, but we'll get into that in a minute. Let me go ahead and get into some comments here. Matai Lomax, yo, what's going on with you? How you doing? Nella says good morning. Miss Hunky Dory said good morning, Miss Nella. Uh, pizza for breakfast, fresh out of the oven. Hey, I ate a hamburger for breakfast, so I feel you. Panther boy, what's going on? Say what up, CJ? What's going on with you? Rob Walt, what's going on with you, big dog? And said congrats, y'all. Happy birthday. Thank you. Supernova Moore, what's going on with you? Appreciate you. Nella said they listen to me. A little fear goes a long way. Yeah, okay. All right. Mr. Hunky Dory, it's a good looking fan. Thank you. I know I kind of hold the picture down a little bit with me and my faces, but I try sometimes. And so on behalf of Carolina's Armchair GM CJ, thank you. Yes, thank you all. Thank you. Yes, Doug. Yes, you read it. Yes. Just for the chat. Nada, what's going on? How you doing, big dog? Yes, sir. Said changing up, I see. Let's get the ball rolling. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it a little bit here. All right. And to all of the front office members, I want to say thank you. From the last live, big shout out to Flame for Jesus and Mr. Hunky Dory for the gifted memberships. I appreciate all of you. All right. If you want to join and be a front office member, the link is the link is on my page. Okay, it's not in the description. I got another link in the description. But the link is on my home page, and I appreciate all of the gifted memberships and all of the continued support from the front office members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Next, okay, fantasy football. There is a league. It is live. Okay, and it's the front office members fantasy football league. And I don't know if everybody got the link. Okay, so here is the link. I just put it in the chat to the fantasy football league. Okay, for members of the front office, for members of the front office. Okay, so I would like to keep it to just the members. I mean, if we don't get enough y'all that want to play, we might open it up and go ahead and get the league fields. 12 teams. It's 4 in there right now, so we need eight more teams, 8 more people to sign up, and then we will schedule a draft day. It'll probably be sometime around the 31st or the first or somewhere in there. Definitely be before that first Thursday night game of the season. Okay, what's gonna have to be. All right. Okay, but yes, the Fantasy Football League is up and live. It's ESPN Fantasy. So if you want to join, please go ahead and hit that link. Make sure you go over there and make you a team so that hopefully I can destroy you all. Hopefully. Okay. All right. So, okay. The Panthers lost 19-10 to the Steelers. And in this game, a couple of good things to take out of it. The Panthers did run the ball. I think we had 171 yards rushing. Not too much in the passing game. Jack Plummer, he did have an opportunity to score, 2 touchdowns. He threw 1 pick in the end zone, and then he threw I say a rainbow ball. I mean a rainbow ball to James Mitchell in the corner of the end zone. Okay. I think he wanted to make sure he got that ball up and over everybody, even though Mitchell was wide open. I mean, like wide open. Okay. It changed dramatically when Bryce Perkins got into the game, which would be expected. I mean, the man has only had 2 days worth of practice. He threw a few passes, but it was mostly turning around, handing off the ball. Hence the number of rushing yards that we did have. Okay. A few more things I liked about this game. The second string defense looked pretty good. Okay, they looked pretty good against Mason Rudolph. And if I'm not mistaken, the Steelers did have quite a few of their starters in. I think the only starters they were missing was Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf. But and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe their starting offensive line was in the game. The starting running back Warren was in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, if I'm wrong, please correct me. Let me know. Okay. But I did like the way that they held up. Now, the only thing that I don't like, not the only thing, but the major thing that I don't like about this defense, and y'all heard me say this on the last live when I had PPP on Panthers Prime podcast. Hold on, wait a minute. What's up, Red Swarm? To be known from here on out as Blue Claw. Said good morning, CJ, and everybody in the chat. Praying that everyone is safe in the Carolinas with Hurricane Aaron out in the ocean. Well, you know what? Yeah, my family is down there at the coast, and I just talked to everybody this morning. Everybody is good, and for once, I'm glad that one of them darn hurricanes ain't throwing a bunch of rain, up this way here in Charlotte. Even though it's coming from somewhere else, because we're still getting all these pop-up showers and stuff around here. But appreciate you joining, Red. Appreciate you. Okay. But the one thing that does kind of bother me with the is this right here. Okay. And this is one play. All right. And I think I forgot what down this was. But as you see, the Steelers got five receivers. Mason Rudolph is back in the shotgun. Okay. And the Panthers are in what I like to call their parking lot defense. Okay. You have the four down linemen. They're in this 4-2-5 set that they love to play so much. Okay. So you got Shy Tuttle, oh God, Princely. I think that's Incoom right there. Claude Chirelis, Wyndham, Thornton, Bartholomew, Evans, and then you got Ransom and Richardson as the safeties. Okay. Now, the reason why I say parking lot defense is because the cornerbacks play so far off the line. I mean, like look down here, Thornton and Bartholomew are probably at least 9 to almost 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. Almost, they're probably about a good 8. Okay. And then you see my man, I think this is Evans up here at the top. He is 5 to 6 yards off the line of scrimmage. Not too bad. Okay. But let me let this play roll a little bit. Okay. Now, if you look up at the top, right? So Chirelis had the linebacker Warren right there, number 30. All right. And Evans, I forgot, I don't know this receiver's name at the top for Pittsburgh, but Evans has this receiver up here. But when the play starts, when the play gets going on, they both of them jump to the running back. Okay. So both of them take the running back, and this receiver here ends up catching the ball, and he's wide open. Okay. Now, what I really hate about this is the fact that Rudolph had plenty of options on this play, but he took this one up here at the top. But look at the bottom. Okay, look at the bottom. All right, and this is why I say the parking lot defense. Look how far they are back. Look at the receiver at the bottom of the screen. He turns and goes for an out. All right, if Rudolph was looking that way, he could hit him. Okay, now let me play it a little bit and look at the receiver right above him. He does not a comeback, but he fakes outside, comes back inside. Okay, he's wide open. All right, if he would have looked that way, he was wide open. But then look at the tight end. Look at the tight end running past Wyndham. Okay, look at that. Look at this man down here at the 50-yard line. Okay, he is wide open on the post route. Now I know at this point, Richardson and Ransom, they're all looking this way because they're watching the quarterback's eyes. Okay, but I do believe if Mason Rudolph, wanted to, he could have looked this way on the side of the field and went back and hit this man down the field. Okay, now like I'm not an expert at doing film or anything like that. I'm going to try to be. I'm going to try to do breaking down film more this season. But this is one of the things that I know it's his scheme. You know what I mean? I know even went back and looked at some of the tape from because I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, this is the same defense that won the Super Bowl for the Rams." Well, Raheem Morris was the defensive coordinator. I think Evero was an assistant that year. Okay, I even went back and looked at the Super Bowl film, and it seems like we're in this way more than I saw in the Super Bowl games, and I went back and looked at a couple of games from the regular season. Now, mind you, I know a lot of people will say, the talent level, was better on that team, and he had a lot more to work with. I mean, but to be honest with you, shoot, who he had back there? He had Nick Scott, and I mean, Nick Scott didn't look too great in that film I saw from back then either. Okay, especially in the Super Bowl. All right, but me personally, that's just my rambling on this morning. I just don't like this because my thing is they are going to dink and dunk the Panthers down the field. Okay, and then you get them doing this right here, and then when Skylar Thompson came in the game for Pittsburgh, okay, Skylar Thompson started off, I mean, balling. And the one thing he did when the corners decided to step up and play a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, what did they do? Stop and go, touchdown. All right. The receiver tried to set his feet like he was going to make a comeback route and then took off and went past. I can't remember if it was Corey Thornton. I think it was Bartholomew, not Thornton, it was Bartholomew. Went straight past Bartholomew for the touchdown. But yeah, but like I said, I know it's the preseason, but this is this is what we have seen from Evero in his entire time here in Charlotte. Is this. Now, what I did see a lot more of when I was watching the Rams film is oh God, what was the court? Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey was playing a lot more, up at the line of scrimmage. And I don't remember not if he was traveling with the number one. No, he wasn't, because he was on Jamar Chase sometimes, then he was on T. Higgins, but there was a lot of formations they had where their whole, all their corners were playing closer to the line of scrimmage. Now, mind you, I get this if it's like, second or third and long. You get what I'm saying? But Evero will come out in this on like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, which just burns me up. I'm gonna play it one more time and then I'm gonna move on. Okay. But yeah, but y'all look at this now. Rudolph was fixated to the top of the screen. Shirellis and the cornerback up here, I think that's Evans, instead of Shirellis passing off the running back to the cornerback, they both went and took the running back. I think this, in all honesty, this was Shirellis' fault. Shirellis probably should have stayed and caught this wide receiver right here and stayed in his zone. Okay. But then, like I said, if you look at the bottom of the field, Rudolph had options all over the field. Okay. But like I said, this let me see. Oh, hold on, let me see. Oh, Commanders 336 Boston. Is that you? Oh yeah, okay, I see it is you. What's up, man? He says, CJ, I desperately need Evero to explain his thinking on this. Yes, I do too. I do too. I don't, I don't claim myself to be an expert on anything. I'm going by what my eyes can see. I'm not going to say I'm a football expert. I know enough to get up here and talk and run my mouth and give my opinion. But I'm with you on this one. I'm with you on this one. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And my thing is this, like, even the safety, they're already, it's like, I know the safeties play deep, but even still though, he would not have had enough time to get back over the top if you wanted to throw that post route to the tight end. So we'll see. But I agree with you on that one. I agree with you. T. Cole's linebackers was out of zones and gaps all night. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But hey, put it to coaching. You know what I mean? Put it to coaching. I mean, you can put it to coaching, you can put it to talent. All right. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's all Evero's fault. He's not the one out there on the field. But like Shirellis. Shirellis has been in this system. He's played with the Panthers for the last 2-3 years. Since Evero has been here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to assume that this is some stuff that he should know by now. Okay, I'm just going to assume that he should know this by now, but we'll see. We'll see. But all right, y'all. But that is my rant on Evero's defense. Now, mind you, as far as the offense goes, I'm still a little perturbed that Canales and Evero were not calling the plays in the first 2 games of the preseason, and they were left to offensive coordinator Brad Izzik. And to be honest with you, you might as well call him offensive assistant, because Canales is the one calling the plays. Now, I get if you want to give them some experience calling plays, if you want to give them a different view of what Canales and Evero does, because they are their assistants, they are helping them. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if I think Izzik is on the sidelines or is he up in the booth? I mean, if he's up in the booth, he does have that eye in the sky vantage point where he can kind of see things and radio down to Canales and say, hey, I see this, I see that. I get that. You want to give them that type of experience, as somebody who has supervised a large group of people before, you always want to get that one person, who's kind of your backup, like if you're out, they can handle stuff for you. So I do get that. Okay. But it would have been nice to have Evero call one of the games with the first team offense, and then leave one to the assistants. And then they were going to call this last game anyway, because you're trying to see what you can you're trying to see what these second and third stringers are going to do. You're trying to see who is going to make the roster, who is not going to make the roster, who's going to step up and show you something. But even still though, in my opinion, I still would love to see them call at least one game with the starters out there, because if Isaac and Cooley and Hanson, we're good enough to be calling plays like Evero and Canales, because they are the offensive defensive coordinators. They would probably have a job somewhere else and not be quote unquote the assistants, as I like to call them. I mean, and I get it, you're trying to get your staff, you're trying to groom them, you're trying to get them prepared in case you need them. But at the same, and on the same, on the other side of it, you are the head coach. These are the guys you're going to be calling plays out there with during the season. At least get one game with them in the preseason. And so that's my rant on that as well. All right. Okay. So again, oh, and also, and I put this picture up on the screen, for this slide, because I feel like Jimmy Horn as a whole did not get enough burn in the preseason. And I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way. If I'm not, y'all let me know. 6th-round pick, a lot of hype. You see a lot of him in workouts, practices, and things like that. But when it came to these preseason games, I mean, I know they have him down in the depth chart as like the number 7 wide receiver, but I think I think most of Panther Nation and probably most of football fans in general would assume that Jimmy Horn is going to make the team. I don't think he's done anything possible, to keep him from making the team. But I do think that he deserved a little bit more burn in the preseason. And let me tell you, hey, this right here, that's absolute fact. We have to start winning before we start experimenting. Yes, yes, thank you. I agree. I completely agree with that. We have got to start winning before we start experimenting. Yes, 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 yes. Because even though like I was saying about me being a supervisor, I had to have my stuff together, before I tried to tell anybody else how to do my job. And I'm not saying that Canales don't have his stuff together. I'm not gonna say that Evero doesn't have his stuff together either. I'm sorry, Commander 336. I do agree with this. I wholeheartedly agree with this comment. Yes, 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 yes. Mr. Hunky Dory said, winning is an experiment at the moment. Oh, I hate to say it, but yeah, yeah. Palmetto Panther, what's going on? How we feeling? To be determined. To be determined. I think there was a lot of good that came out of this preseason. But I think there's more question marks than we have answers for, at the moment, which is a part of the preseason. Okay, that is an inherent part of the preseason. You get you well, kind of like Commander 336 is saying, not experiment, but you do experiment, you do try things. Okay, but I do believe that we have more questions than we have the answers for. Okay, but all in all, I hate to say this, it is still the preseason. It is still the preseason, but there's certain things that you want to see that we didn't see this year from the Panthers. Okay, so hopefully we'll see it during the preseason. I mean, during the regular season, because that's when it counts. But yeah, let me see. Said Palmer was trying to get our wide receivers killed out there, especially Renfro. Oh, Plummer. Yeah, 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 yeah. He threw a few body bag balls out there. Yeah, he threw a couple. He threw a couple. What's going on, SC Panthers, boy? Do you think we're showing so much tape on Renfro and Horn Jr. for a trade bait for other teams since we have so many wide receivers, CJ? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna get back to that in a second. I'm gonna bring your comment back up in a second. All right. Plum, as PPP says. I agree. More questions than answers, but we will see come week 1 if they are prepared or not. Yes. Bill Mack, what's going on? So we know who our kicker will be. I don't know why Canales didn't kick that field goal. Yeah, I think it's pretty much Fitzgerald's job at this point. I've seen more out of Fitzgerald than what's the other dude name? Not Sam Martin, but Matthew Wright. Because Matthew Wright got out there in the Browns game and missed a field goal. Either the Brown game or the Texas game. I think it was at home because I was there. But yeah, one of them games he went out there and missed a field goal. But I think this is Fitzgerald's job to lose, but we'll see. Okay, so next slide. All right, now bring your comment back up, Panther boy. Said, do you think we're showing so much table Renfro and Horn for trade bait for other teams? We have so many wide receivers. Okay. Um, Renfro and Horn, I don't think so. Okay. Now I bring up this what got Adam Thielen on the screen because it's been reported that the Vikings are interested in trying to trade for Adam Thielen. Okay. Now, me and Tony were talking about this yesterday, and the thing is, and he asked me, he was like, um, would you trade Adam Thielen? Okay. And let me say this. I am grateful for everything that Adam Thielen has done in his 2 years here in Carolina. He has been, a go-to guy, been our best receiver for 2 years, 1,000-yard receiver in his first season. Just does everything that, you ask him to do. But I will say this as well. It's still about what's best for the team. Okay. Now, mind you, if they were to work out some kind of a trade, I don't think you get if as far as draft picks go, I don't think you get more than a fifth round pick for Adam Thielen. I think a fifth round pick is being very generous. Very, very, very generous. And I think that generosity will depend on how desperate the Vikings are for a wide receiver. They still have Justin Jefferson, but Jordan Addison and their third wide Jordan Addison, I think he's suspended, and the other wide receiver is dealing with some kind of an injury. So two of their top three wide receivers are hurt. Okay. Now, does it make sense for Adam Thielen? He still has a house up there. Okay. He was born and raised up there. He went to school up there. Okay. Um, like I said, it just depends on who we get back. Okay. And at this point, I think we need a player that's going to contribute rather than a draft pick. At this point, okay, we need safety help, in my opinion. We need help at linebacker. Okay. I mean, hell, if they threw another decent defensive tackle, in there, I take that too. But we're not going to get any of their starters. Okay. And I don't know if they're going to be willing to part with a decent backup for Adam Thielen. Okay. So my thought process on this is if if the compensation is good and will help the team, I'm all for it. Okay. But do not go out here and trade Adam Thielen back to the Minnesota Vikings for a quarter of a bag of peanuts. I ain't gonna say a whole bag of peanuts, a quarter of a bag of peanuts, because that I hate to say this, and maybe and hopefully I'm just thinking about Fitter and all them guys before Dan Morgan, but don't trade him for nothing. Okay, if you're going to trade Adam Thielen, make sure you get something or somebody that's going to help the team out now. Okay. I want them to bring in somebody, whether it's like I said, I doubt you're going to get a starter, but you need a decent depth piece that has the potential to come in and start and be productive in case we have injuries. Okay. And as you know, it's the NFL. We're going to have injuries. All right. Hopefully they're not much. Hopefully if they do happen, you miss a game or two, but hey, it's bound to happen. All right. But that is my thought on Adam Thielen. Do I want the Panthers to trade him? No. Okay. But if the compensation is right, I don't want any draft picks right now. I don't want any draft picks because like I said, I highly doubt you're going to get anything above a fifth rounder. And I think a fifth rounder is a stretch. Okay. So my thought process, keep Adam Thielen unless it's one of those deals that is way too good to pass up. I don't know how desperate the Vikings are. But if they trade Adam Thielen, I hope the Vikings are very desperate and are willing to come up off of a good little bit of stuff. Okay. And my thing, I'm shoot a player and draft picks, but like I said, a decent player. But I'd have to take a look at the Vikings roster because I don't pay attention to them like that. I don't know who on that roster I would even want them to trade Adam Thielen for. Okay. So I'd have to look at that first. Let me see. Get back to some comments here. And I know I missed some of y'all, so let me go back. Rock Jones, what's going on? Trading Thielen to keep Horn. It's been real 19. Lord have mercy. Now mind you, when it comes to Jimmy Horn, now like I said, he hasn't got a lot of burn in the preseason, but I honestly, in my heart of hearts, do not believe that Jimmy Horn is in any danger of being cut. Okay, I think he will be on the 53-man roster. So that's my thoughts on Jimmy Horn. Bill Mack. My worry is that Bryce has made Thielen his security blanket and go-to guy. I don't know if he has trust in any other wide receiver on the roster. Okay, but think about it like this, Bill Mack. You have Adam Thielen, who just turned. Did he just turn 35 or he just turned 36? I know his birthday was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Especially when all this speculation started going around. Okay. Now, mind you, we have Hunter Renfro. Okay. Thielen, Hunter Renfro, both slot receivers. All right. Hunter Renfro is younger. And the caveat with this one is if Hunter Renfro if his health is where he needs to be and he can get back in football shape, I do believe that Hunter Renfro can step in and be that security blanket for Bryce Young, if they do decide to trade Adam Thielen. You think about it. I think Hunter Renfro is probably a better route runner, than Adam Thielen. You've seen his tape, you've seen what he can do. If one thing that man knows how to do, he knows how to get open. Okay, he knows how to get open. And Bryce, all he has to do is get him the ball. Okay, that's the caveat. Bryce got to give him the ball. Now mind you, if we did not have if we did not have Hunter Renfro, and I wouldn't even put this slide up. I wouldn't even entertain it. If we did not have Hunter Renfro, like, nah, absolutely not. You keep Adam Thielen and for this last year of his contract. So we'll see. We'll see. Let me see. If we can squeeze out a fourth, I take it, but nothing less. I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. As good as Adam Thielen is, okay, and I say that because he's reliable. Okay, he's reliable. He gets open. He makes catches, even though if the refs say it's not a catch, like that game, the touchdown catch against Tampa Bay, excuse me, that they called not a catch, that was a catch, but he gets open. He makes catches, he makes one-handed catches, and he's that security blanket for Bryce Young. Okay, but yeah, I don't think Minnesota would give up a fourth for him. Like I said, that's just my humble opinion. Poppin', what's going on? So what's up, CJ? Hail the armchair. Okay, hey, and shout out to Aries Claire over there at 704 Charlotte Bound Show. I'm gonna start using that, and I got to figure out a way to do it. I wanted to put some kind of an old school, like a medieval chant, be like, "All hail the chair," something like that. But yeah, but what's up, Poppin'? How you doing? Hey, PPP, Panthers Prime Podcast. Let me tell you, I'm gonna start calling him Bill Banner. Okay. PPP's new name, everybody, is Bill Banner. All right. And the reason why he is Bill Banner, because if you go look at PPP's avatar for on his shorts when he's playing Madden, tell me his avatar doesn't look like a mixture of David Banner and Little Bill. Okay. Y'all remember Little Bill, the cartoon from back in the day. All right. Y'all go check that out and tell me if that's not the case. So from here on out, this will be Bill Banner. Bill Mack says better have Bryce make a dynamic connection to someone else if they trade Thielen. If not, we are going to run into trouble. Facts. I agree. Said all hail the chair. Now it's time to get CJ to wear a crown. Hey, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I got a creator on the other side of this wall with a hell of a 3D printer. don't tempt me. If they want him, make them pay up. Agree. I agree. And that's why I said the Vikings are going to have to come off of something really good, in my opinion, for the Panthers to want to give up Adam Thielen. Okay. And even so, if I'm Dan Morgan, the good-hearted person in me, if I'm Dan Morgan, I pull Adam Thielen into the office and be like, hey, player, do you want to go back home? Do you want to go to Minnesota? And I ain't gonna lie, if he'd be like, man, no, me personally, I'd be inclined to be like, cool, you ain't going nowhere. All right. But that's why I'm not the real GM and I'm the armchair GM. So don't listen to me. What? Oh, here y'all go. Oh Lord, yo. Doug said, "Prom not doing this with you today, sir. You supposed to be enjoying the beat day. Take the day off." Hold on, Prom, it's your birthday? Oh shoot! Oh, you know you did tell me that, man. Hey, shout out to PPP. Happy birthday to Mr. Bill Banner, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all tell him happy birthday. Roger Jones said, "Happy birthday, Sheriff." J5 has shown flashes throughout practice and joint practice. Why show your hand early on how you want to use J5 in preseason? Don't agree with that one. No, and I got you. And I got you. I'm just saying, I think he should have got just a little bit more burn as far as just going out there and being on the field, not tipping your hand and showing exactly how you want to use them. But let the man go out there and run a few in routes, out routes, drags, something. Just get him. I ain't gonna say acclimated, but just let him get some playing time. That's all I'm saying. Just let him get some playing time. I'm not saying go out there and be like, all right, cool. We're gonna show the entire league exactly how we're going to use Jimmy Horn right here and right now. No. But yeah, but I got you, Doug. I got you. Rick Jones. Oh, that's Rock Jones. I got you. I got you. I got you. Excuse me. Poppy says I very yeah. Let me see. I've heard conversations are done at the moment because the Vikings don't want to pay Adam's salary. Oh, okay. Because if I'm not mistaken, let me pull it up real quick. If I'm not mistaken, let's see. If I'm not mistaken, Adam Thielen's salary this season is $10 million. Yes, his cap hit this year is $10 million. Okay, and hold on, and let me see what the Vikings are looking like as far as salary cap space. And I swear I am just about blind. Hold on here. Oh Jesus, I'm stupid. Well, I mean, hell, the Vikings got $31 million in cap space right now. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see though. We'll see. Okay. All right. Cool beans. Palmetto Money, what's going on? I only want a linebacker that's up and coming, but keep Thielen at all costs unless it benefits us. I agree. I agree. I agree. Let me see. Said this what's happened when there's no eyes at training camp. Yeah, facts, Doug. Facts. Commander 336, stop acting like we got the Michael Jordan Space Jam water in the locker room and we hiding it. The secret stuff. Oh God. Doug said PPP told you Oklahoma drill on site, so be ready. Them little curls you were doing yesterday ain't going. Hey, let me tell you, whatever y'all decide to do, make sure I am there. Hey, let me tell you, I got I got the tripod, the camera, waiting. Let me know. I got to get that on camera. That would be hilarious. Palmetto Money says, or we can shore up the special teams. Wink, wink, kicker and gunners needed. Special teams will win or lose us a few games. I agree. I agree. I'll be in charge of taking bets. Gotcha. Hey, look. Hey, Doug and PPP line up with the line of scrimmage. Who y'all think winning? Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all rocking with Doug? Y'all rocking with PPP? Said CJ, you saw my message. Look like a sleepy fish. Hold on, wait a minute. No, well, I didn't. Let me go back. Oh, hey, that's cool. That's cool. It's all good, Bill Banner. It's all good. I appreciate you. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. All right. And the crazy thing is it's kind of ties into the cap as well with this slide, because now if we were to trade Adam Thielen, that would free up, about $9-10 million. Let me see. Uh Trade post June 1st. Let me see. Adam Thielen. Yeah, about $8 million. All right, about $8 million. Okay. So Big Timo, Taylor Moton got a 2-year extension. All right, 2 years, $44 million. 40 million guaranteed. 40 million guaranteed. Okay. And when you first look at that, you're like, wow, $44 million. I even seen people comment and be like, ooh, God, that's a lot. That's too much. Okay, but now me and Tony were talking about this yesterday as well. And if we got this right, this will be good for the Panthers as far as the salary cap goes, since it's an extension. Okay. Taylor Moton is currently owed $31.3 million for this season, which has been the result of a lot of restructures and void years and all that good stuff. Okay. So, hold on, wait a minute. So I said I'll knock Ducky to 277. Oh, poor man, are they laying down or head up? No, sir. They got to start on the ground. They got to start on the ground. Oh my God. But let me see. A lot of people were like, "Oh my God, $44 million." So he's owed 31 this season. And if I'm not mistaken, if I am, please, please, please correct me in the chat. With this extension, I think they could take his cap number this year, that $31 million, and turn it into a signing bonus. Okay. And then you have the 2 years, $44 million. You could split that into $22 million a year. Okay. So that would be probably somewhere close to a $9 million savings, $8 or $9 million savings from what he is getting paid right now. Currently, the Panthers are sitting at $19.2 million. Okay. So if you add another 8 or 9 to that, you are close to you're close to 20. All right. Then just think about it. If you cut Adam Thielen, not cut Adam Thielen, I'm sorry. If they were to trade him, that's some more money that they free up. And you got to think about it. The 53-man cuts are due by 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Okay. So there are a lot of people on this roster. Okay, a lot of people on this roster who are going to get cut that are right now counting against this 53 the counting against the 93-man roster that's counting against the salary cap. So once everybody's cut and then they sign back the 16 players for the practice squad, okay? So practice squad players I think will make up to a maximum of like $380 million. All right. So I forgot what my calculation was for that because I did not write it down. And I know somebody is going to get me for saying that. But you think about the money that the Panthers might be working with come the after the 53-man roster cut. All right. And I say this because, well, first of all, let me say this before I get into that tangent. Taylor Moton, well deserved. Well deserved. Okay. He's been Iron Man for the Panthers ever since he was drafted. He has played every snap, every game he's been in. He's only missed 2 games. 2 games, 2 games, 2 games. And they were last year. Okay. Not going to hold that against him at all. Well deserved. The only thing that I want the Panthers to do, okay, if you get through this season, all right, you get through this season and you get the feeling that next year is going to be Taylor Moton's last year, okay? If that's the feeling you get, Carolina, Dan Morgan, Brant Tillers, that whole front office, all right, do not, I repeat, do not wait to find this man's replacement, okay? And replace him in the draft. Replace him in the draft. We better not see them doing a whole Cam Irvin deal like they did a few years ago. Let me tell you, I try to get up here and I try to give every player the respect that they deserve because my thing is they are in the NFL. Okay, I am not. I am sitting here out in my shed in my office. Okay, talking to you guys about them. Okay, so I try to give the players a certain amount of respect. All right, but let me tell you, when Cam Irvin came to Carolina, he got out there and played. Let me tell you, I threw all that out the window. All right, and I know they were scrambling, looking for help. Pat, let me see, Pat Eifline, Cam Irvin. That year that was terrible. That was so terrible, so terrible. But like I said, with the Panthers, with Taylor Moton, go ahead and find his replacement. Okay, don't let it be a situation where this man stops playing and then we go out there and try to find somebody in free agency and they don't want to come to Carolina. and then now you get into the draft and you do something like, oh God, what was it? A couple of years ago, we need a center, okay? And me and Tony were hollering and screaming at the TV. Every center kept going off the board, off the board, off the board, off the board. And then the Panthers was just like, whatever. Okay. Now, mind you, we did get Bradley Bozeman. Bradley Bozeman was good in that first year he was here when and I think he excelled later on in the season when Steve Wilson was like, nah, we're going to be a power run team. We're going to run this ball. That's what Bradley Bozeman excelled at. When he got here with Frank Wright and they tried to do that zone blocking scheme that Frank Wright loves to do, that was not his strong suit. Okay. Bradley Bozeman left, went out to the Chargers. What's he doing out there in San Diego? In LA with the Chargers? He balling because Harbaugh and them, they're out there power run team. Okay. They're running the ball down people's throats. All right. But like I said, hey, go ahead, find this man's replacement. All right. And let me see. PPP and Doug still arguing in the chat. Hey, Austin Wright, what's going on, big dog? How you doing? I said, fact, CJ, find T-Roll replacement ASAP. All right, yes, sir. But let me see. Now, where's the tangent that was going on? Oh, yeah. So now, mind you, okay, I think the Panthers are going to save some money with T-Mo's extension. Okay. Even if they were to trade Adam Thielen, okay, they would save some money on his contract as well. All right. You get all the roster cuts done, sign the practice squad players, then you're going to free up a little bit of money there as well, too. So, are they doing this now? Are they trying to take a swing at Trey Hendrickson? Okay. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he wants $30 million, a year. Okay. If my calculations are correct, when the Panthers are done, I think they may have enough money for that. Now, usually with these contracts, the first year is quote unquote team friendly. We'll see if that would be the case if this were to happen. But, I do think the Panthers are trying to free up some money for something. Okay. Don't necessarily know what it is yet, but that might be that might be it. All right. If they can get Trey Hendrickson here and get him signed, I'm for it. I'm all for it. And I know I said on the last video that the Panthers are trying to get younger. Is he even a target? He's 30 years old. He'll be 31 in December. So we have to see. All right. But I do believe the Panthers are going to have quite a bit of cap space, coming up here in the next week. Okay. Let me see. Miss Ungadora says talent like Moton is rare. It takes 2 years to find a replacement. We need to look next draft no later than that. I feel you. I feel you on that one. Okay. So Taylor Moton has been extended, y'all. All right. And what I want to do now. Okay, so the roster cuts are Tuesday. All right. So I wanted to bring my slides back and get y'all thoughts on who is going to make the roster. Okay. And I think it's pretty clear cut this year, more so than it has been in the past few years since been doing the podcast here. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the roster. Okay, at the quarterback position, I think this is pretty much set. Young, Dalton, even though I know a lot of people have been calling for Andy Dalton to be gone, to be out of here. As of late, I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think he's going to play out the rest of his contract, which I think is just this year left. And then we'll have to think about another quarterback after that. Okay. Jack Plummer, Bryce Perkins. Let me ask y'all this. Now I know Bryce Perkins has been here for all of this week. Okay. Do you guys think that there is a way that he may get himself on the practice squad? Okay. Do you think he'll have enough time to show them what he can do to give good old Plummer the boot? All right. Let me know what y'all think about that one. Andy got a 2-year extension, I believe. Hold on, let me go find Andy Dalton real quick. All right. Yes. Okay. Yes. Andy is signed this year and next year. You're absolutely right, Pop. Appreciate that. Yep. Okay. So, Andy Dalton is going to be with us for this year, and next year. It looks like. Well, and that's not a given. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. All right. Moving on here. Offensive line, okay. I think our offensive line is set. Icky, Damian Lewis is on track to be back, ready to go by week 1. Austin Corbett. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I thought there was a chance that Austin Corbett was going to lose that starting center job. I really did. Okay, but he's back out. What does he have last year? Oh God, was it the shoulder injury? I hope that's it. Well, it looks like it's good enough for him to get his starting job back. Robert Hunt, and then the newly extended Taylor Moton. Okay, so that's our starting line. All right. Backups: Christensen, Zavala, Mays, Carter, and Yash Nyman. Tricep. Thank you, Austin Wright. Tricep. Okay. Now, Christensen and Nyman, I'm pretty sure are going to be on. Okay. Zavala, yeah, Cade Mays is going to be on. So that's 3. Now, Zavala and Carter, I don't think they're going to keep both of them. And I say that because you got Christensen and Mays, who can both play guard and center. Okay. So Carter may not make it. Zavala, and I think he was out there playing this past game. So his injured, was it patella, strained patella, whatever it was. I'm guessing it's back, and he's fine with that. But I do think they keep let me see, 5, 6, 7, what is that? 9 offensive linemen instead of 10. I think last year we kept we kept 10. Okay, but I do think they keep 9. Like I said, with the versatility of Christensen and Mays, Christensen can play tackle, center, and guard. Mays can play center and guard. He did play some tackle at Tennessee though, or either Tennessee or Georgia in college. Now mind you, I'm not gonna lie. I should have pulled this other clip from the preseason game where Yash Nyman, the outside linebacker, just got to him, and Yash Nyman just fell on the ground. I mean, just absolutely fell on the ground. So yeah, I'm not a big Yash Nyman fan. I'm not even gonna lie, but he's here, so it's whatever. He's gonna be on the team because, to be honest with you, they're not going to have Brady Christensen as the only player that's for a backup tackle spot, whether it be left tackle or right tackle. Okay, so he'll be here. All right. Let me see what Doug says. Carter got hurt again, and Zavala finished his snaps. Oh, that's right. Carter was in a walking boot by the end of the game, wasn't he? That's right. Okay, so we'll see about that. Appreciate that, Doug. Cabe got beat out by a man with broken legs. Hey, well, hey, I mean, hey, it is what it is at this point. Let me see. Game Dreamer 58, what's going on with you? This year's draft is a time to double dip at O-line and linebacker. Man, hey, let me tell you, you were absolutely right. You were absolutely right. Absolutely right. All right, but we'll get the linebackers here in a minute. Doug says you got a good view. We need the clip, sir. Let me see if I can well, I'll bring, I'll make a short out of it because it is on my phone. I got it clipped on my phone, but I don't have it on my computer. But yeah, I'll make a short out of it. That Naaman just literally fell over. I mean, like literally, and I'm just like, nah, that ain't it, dog. That's not it. Okay. But Walton, Kingston, Lasoya, Kandra, and Tarquin do not believe we're going to make team, and probably Carter. Okay. Even though they do have Carter as a he's on the second string. He is the backup right guard behind Robert Hunt. But we'll see. Okay. Palmetto Money, what's your take on the defense? I'm not sure if we get enough pressure on the other offense and QB. Okay, I'm going to start your comment, and when I get to defensive slides, I'll put that back up, and we'll talk about that very topic. All right. Okay, wide receivers, the most interesting position group on the Carolina Panthers this season, as far as having a lot of talent. Okay, a lot of talent in a limited number of spaces. And y'all saw the blueprint, and you heard Brad Isaac say that he would like to keep 6 or 7, wide receivers. And I think he ended saying about 6. Okay. So let's just say this. All right, McMillan, Leggett, Thielen, Coker, Renfro, Jimmy Horn Jr. So that's 5. I do believe that they're all going to make it. Okay. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that's 6, right? David Moore. Now, it's been said that David Moore, he's a Canales guy. He doesn't want to play for anybody but Canales. And that might be true. It might be true. But if I don't see them keeping 7. I don't see them keeping 7. I think the 6 will be, McMillan, Leggett, Thielen, Horn, Renfro, and Coker. Okay. But just think, and say you could get rid of that bottom row. Now I know, but this is everybody that's on here right now. And there's one person on that bottom row that I want to throw into the mix. Okay. But thank you, dear. I appreciate it. Okay. Now hear me out now. And I saw this on Panthers Wire too, and I kind of agree with it. All right. Just think if they kept 7, but that 7th wide receiver wasn't David Moore. Think if it was Bryson Tremaine. Okay, down here at the bottom, fourth from the left on the bottom row. Okay, think about Bryson Tremaine. And hey, look, everybody's saying Tremaine. Hey, but think about Bryson Tremaine, tall wide receiver. Another big target for Bryce, who has been, his name has been mentioned a lot during this offseason. I think he caught a couple touchdowns against I can't remember if it was a Cleveland joint practice or Houston, but just think about that. Just think about that. Think if we keep 7 and Moore is cut and Tremaine is the guy. Okay. Now, I would think that quite a few teams, well, maybe not quite a few teams. I know Minnesota is probably looking and waiting for us to make our cuts to see who we cut from this group right here. Because I guarantee you, in that second row, okay, and that's it. Coker's safe. I do believe Renfro is safe, and Jimmy Horn is safe. But just say if Moore gets cut or if Renfro gets cut, they're not going to clear waivers. Okay, they are not going to clear waivers. Somebody is going to pick them up expeditiously. Okay, they are not going to clear waivers at all. All right, so we'll see. But do I want them to keep 7? I would love for them to keep 7 if they didn't have to take from another spot. Okay. But in order for them to keep 7 receivers, somebody else is going to have to be down a player. And the only spot that I would probably be okay with if they did not keep the same amount that they had last year would be the next spot up. Sorry. I gotta go back. The tight ends. Okay, we'll go back to the running backs. So the tight ends. All right. I have seen some roster predictions where Sanders, Trimble, and Evans are the only 3 that are kept, and the rest of them are cut. Now I'm sure that I got Daphne there just because that's just where I put him. But out of Daphne and Pierre, Mitchell will definitely be tight end number 4 if they keep 4 tight ends. I don't think Daphne and Pierre are going to make it. Okay, but if they were to keep 7, I do believe you could get away with Sanders, Trimble, and Evans at the tight end spot. Keep Mitchell on the practice squad, and maybe he's one of those game day elevations if they need it. Okay, but yeah. So and also Tommy Trimble has been activated from the pup list. He was activated by the deadline because if he wouldn't have, he would have missed the first 4 games of the season. And he did have a procedure done on his back, and I do believe everything is going well with that. Okay. All right. So now let's go back to the running backs. Okay. And this is probably one of the easiest slides. Chuba, Rico, ETN. Okay. And Bill Banner, if you are still watching, Blackshear is not gonna make it. Okay. Blackshear, Bailey, and the rookie Lynch Adams from Michigan State are not going to make it. Okay. I think this is probably one of the most clear-cut rooms on this team outside of the quarterback spot. All right. So let me see. Oh, Palmetto Money says Sanders, Evans, and Trimble. That's it. Mitchell can go to the practice squad. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Tip Tree Will, what's going on with you, big dog? How you doing? Said Trimble has been activated off the pup. Yes, sir, he has. Yes, sir. Oh, Okay, Papa says I'll move Tremaine to tight end. Okay, I ain't think about that. Shoot, that might be a possibility. Might be a possibility. Okay. Miss Unky Doris said, Doug, I do not see Moore wanting to be a practice squad player. I don't either. That's why I'm saying if he were to get cut, I think he would get picked up and probably be on somebody's 53-man roster. That's just my thought process. Especially, like if a Minnesota picks him up. They're short on wide receivers. He's going to play. He's definitely going to play. All right. Let me see. Doug said it helps the numbers though. I think it's time for David Moore to get his walking papers. Yeah. Lynch Adams can't even make a UFL or CFL team. He is that bad. I thought he was the undrafted free agent out of Michigan State. This is rookie year, ain't it? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Doug said, look at his weight. He is not in the tight end class. Yeah, but hey, a couple trips to the cookout, and we got a Biscuitville up in Concord now. So yeah, hey, let me tell you, it's a place to gain some weight around here. It's definitely some place to gain some weight. So yep, Tremaine to tight end, maybe. Yep. I'd move Nick Scott to the bench. Facts. We're getting that, Rock. We're getting that. We're getting that. But facts. Kenny said, right, CW. Hey, and shout out to Flame for Jesus, man. Flame for Jesus, let me tell you. Thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. I appreciate you. You and Mr. Hunky Dory. I know how to get a hold of Mr. Hunky Dory, but Mr. Hunky Dory never wants me to send him anything. But I'm going to find a way to get his address. I'm gonna send him something. But Flame for Jesus, you gotta send me an email. I gotta get in contact with you, man. I gotta get you a gift or something. I appreciate everything you do for me, dog. I really do. I appreciate you. And for everybody who has been gifted a membership, welcome to the front office. Okay. Um, um, if you want, go back and look. I did a members video earlier this week. I'm going to start doing something different with the members videos. Y'all go back and take a look at that. But again, Flame for Jesus, thank you. Yes, sir. It's a nice Flame. Yep. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Flame for Jesus. Yes, he's one of the goats. One of the goats. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. Okay. Man, hey, let me tell you. Shoot. Hey, it's funny. It's funny because I do have this exact chair in the garage. I have another one. This exact chair here. I promise you, if he wanted, I'd send it to him. I'd have to do jazz it up a little bit, but yeah. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Let me tell you, I'm good with stay out of my garage. uh, Look, let me tell you, she ain't even gonna miss it. Said you got the person who can get any info, and man, let me tell you, boy. Hey, I married the damn DEA on the other side of this wall right here, boy. Kenny S. Flame for Jesus is a great man. So he just don't like Bryce. Let me tell you, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. And I don't think it's necessary that he just doesn't like Bryce, but everybody's opinion it matters. Okay, everybody's opinion matters. He has certain things that he wants to see out of Bryce that he's felt like he has not seen, and I can respect that. I can definitely respect that. Yep. The garage is off limits. I got you. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. Okay, so the defense. All right. And Palmetto Money, I got your comment. I'll put it back up here in a second. All right. So Brown the third, and Turk Wharton. Okay. Now, on the Panthers' recent depth chart for the last two games, they have had Turk Wharton listed as a starting defensive tackle. Okay, and I'm not going to lie to you. That has baffled me. Okay, now I don't know if that was them experimenting with anything or whatnot, but I hope to the good Lord above that when that 53-man roster comes out and the first depth chart comes out before the Jacksonville game, that Turk Wharton is not our starting defensive tackle. Okay. I do believe Turk Wharton is a really good player, and I do believe that he can add value to this defense. Now mind you, he's in the game against Kansas City last year. You saw him line up at the defensive tackle spot a few times a game. Okay, but right now on the depth chart, they got Bobby Brown as the backup to Ashawn Robinson. Okay, and then you got Wharton and as Doug likes to call him, Shy Turtle. Shy Turtle, as the backup for Wharton. Okay, now, they kept last year. I think they kept five. So Brown, Wharton, Robinson, or Locks. Okay. Maybe they keep six. They keep six this year. I say, oh, excuse me, sorry. Cam Jackson and Crumedy. All right. If they keep five, I say you keep Cam Jackson to back up Brown the third. Okay. LeBron Ray, Harrison Hunt. Even though I think Harrison Hunt has looked pretty decent in the preseason, I think they will probably, end up making the practice squad. All right. Now Shot Tuttle. Now let me tell you, now I know I've talked my fair share of crap about Shot Tuttle. But I got to give it up to him. He took a pay cut to stay here, and in my heart of hearts, and let me see. And Doug says Tuttle is not making it. Hey, I feel you, Doug. I feel you. 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 But I got a feeling somehow, some way, Shot Tuttle is gonna make the squad. I swear. I don't know what it is, and I ain't trying to talk nothing into fruition here. Because I always say I think Tuttle is playing out of position. I think he'd be better suited playing at defensive end instead of at nose tackle. But I got a feeling he might make it. Do I want him to make it? Not really. Okay. I do not want him to be in this team again as our backup. He was our starting defensive tackle last year. Okay. I do not want him to be in that defensive tackle group at all this season. But we'll see. We'll see. But I see that the comment section is not happy with with what I just said. It says Shuttle is out. He called that man Shuttle. Hey, I love it, Pop. He called that man Shuttle. DT, no, this man stayed on his back last year. Pause. Oh my God. Hey, Inflate, man, thank you again, man. Shout out to you for the $5 super chat. Say, I've seen things out of Dan Morgan I don't like. People call me a hater for that too. So one way or another, I would be considered a hater, CJ. Nah, you good, man. Hey, you just speaking your opinion, dog. You know what I mean? And even, I mean, everybody ain't gonna like everybody. You know what I mean? But my thing, and the reason why I can appreciate you when you come over here, because I know you have different opinions about different people, but you don't come over here like, hey, I'm right and you're wrong, and all y'all are, full of it, go to hell. That's what I'm saying. We all have opinions, some of us like people, some of us don't like people, but when we get on here, we just get on here and talk. Get on here and talk, have a good time. But again, man, Flame with Jesus, as always, dog, I appreciate you, man. I definitely appreciate you. But yeah, so hold on, let me see. Doug said, so what that mean? About pulling the weight at your job and somebody not doing their job, right? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But this is not my job. Okay. This ain't my this ain't my decision to be made. This man has been on the roster for 2 years. He took a pay cut and they signed him back. Okay, so I'm just saying it's a possibility. It's a possibility. So we'll see. Say at Doug, unfortunately he will. don't don't give me this. I ain't saying nothing, but I hear Total put on extra chapstick when he went to the. Oh God. Oh my God. Making True Money, what's going on? It said you'll see that out of every GM, to be honest. I got you. I got you. Said we'll see, but salute to you. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Let me see. Making True Money said, what's up, CJ? I'm mad I missed the start. Man, let me tell you, man, I'm gonna have to find a way to send you some direct notifications, dog. But yeah, man, we started off talking about I showed a picture of the family. My kids turned 16 this past week, and we was talking about the news. Moton getting extended, trade rumors about Adam Thielen and whatnot, and then we got into the roster. Okay, but yeah, but just go back and check it out, man. Appreciate you. The shy turtle. uh, I'd rather have. Okay, let me ask y'all this, chat. Take your pick. Would you rather have Tuttle or Nick Scott? Let me. What's your answer on that one, Doug? Would y'all rather have Tuttle or Nick Scott? All right, and you can't say neither. You gotta give me an answer, one or the other. All right, but that is our defensive line right there. I do believe it'll be 5. If they keep 6, Tuttle might make it, he might not, but I believe it's gonna be Brown, Wharton, Robinson, Jackson, and then like I said, they keep 6, it's gonna be between Tuttle and Crumby. Okay, so yeah. Hold on, what does it say? Nah, I said YouTube is tripping again. Hopefully it will get fixed before the season. Oh God. Hey, Commander said I'll keep Tuttle over Scott. Shuttle, I'm sorry. Shuttle over Scott. Poppin said Shuttle. Revolutionary Poetry, Tuttle, no question. Facts. Tuttle, Scott, or Barth. Let me see, 2 got to go, 3 would be better. I got you. Okay. Oh, I guess you mean Bartholomew, the cornerback. I got you. All right, cool. Okay. All right. Outside linebackers. Okay. So Jones, Wanham, Scorton, Uman. All right. I do believe that they are all locks. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, the news on Nick Scorton's collapsed lung is looking good. It's a lot better. He's progressing a lot faster than they thought. I don't know if they've said that he would be a lock and ready to go for week 1, but I'm going to assume that he is. Okay. So we'll see we'll see how that goes. Now mind you, if they keep 5, I'm not even gonna lie to you. All right. I think DJ Johnson, because he was a 3rd round pick, and because I always say he was a panic pick by Carolina back in that draft a few years ago, because it got to the point where all of their targets were coming off the board like really fast. And it got to the point where I think Johnson was the last one they had on their big board as far as outside linebackers, to the point where they traded with Pittsburgh to jump up, and we gave Pittsburgh that spot and another pick, and they ended up picking my man Washington, the big tight end out of I think out of Georgia, and somebody else. But now, whether they want to give up on DJ Johnson just yet, I don't know. I think he showed a couple flashes, more so in the run game last year. As a pass rusher, you know what I mean. But now, mind you, this is me speaking, this is me speaking. I would rather, if they kept 5, I would rather it be in Coon or Boogie Basham over DJ Johnson, and that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Flame, thank you for another $5 super chat. I think Tillis was the head man in this draft. He didn't draft or sign anyone that was already hurt after saying he wasn't going to last year. I got you. Yeah. I feel you on that, Flame. And again, thank you for another super chat, man. I greatly appreciate you, big dog. Palmetto Money says Nick Scott can play special teams on. Let me see. DJ is out. Incoom is probably in. Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking. If they keep 5, and DJ Johnson was a 3rd round pick. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're gonna give up on him after a couple years, but I mean, it's all about who is going to be able to do who's all about who's going to be able to help the team out. And I haven't really seen anything from Johnson, in his couple years here that would say that he has. You know what I mean? But again, we'll see. We shall see. All right. Doug said, "Hey, let me give credit where credit is due." The slide. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, Doug. Oh, he said the year before I meant. Okay, got you, Flame. Got you. He said, Papa, you mean Incum. Yeah. um, Will Ross said, I would keep 7 wide receivers and cut DJ. And let me tell you now, Will, like I was saying earlier, the only spot that I would probably say, okay, we'll take less than what we did last year is that tight end room. Okay. Because I think every position group on this defense needs as many people as they can handle. Okay. I wouldn't cut any more than I absolutely had to on the defensive side of the ball. All right. If we gonna keep 7 wide receivers, I say we take 3 tight ends and make sure that whoever got cut makes it to the practice squad, and they can be called up just in case. All right. And I mean, in hell, you shoot, you see how many times Brady Christensen lined up at tight end last year, and a lot of times, and it wasn't just for shot. I mean, he didn't catch any passes, but that big joker went out there and ran routes. If I'm not mistaken, in the Arizona game and in the no, not the Arizona game, the Falcons game. I think the Falcons game was when he ran that route out there in the end zone. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. But let me see. I'm gonna call him Cocoon. That Johnson was an arrow pick, say less. Yeah. I mean, and they admit it. They admit it. Everybody on their board was going off. They were leaving the board real fast. And like I said, I think this was a panic pick because they wanted to get an edge rusher. And the thing was, DJ Johnson was a converted tight end. I don't even know if he had that many seasons at Oregon as a pass rusher, but he was on their board, so whatever. Yeah. Flame says Dan Morgan said he may keep 7 wide receivers. Okay. All right. So yeah, they not garbage dumpster juice trash this time. Deontay, what's going on, man? He said, yo, I'm at work listening, man. Appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you. Thank you, and welcome. Flame said Rock Jones, he had no choice. DJ was all that was left at that point. Yeah, yeah. That was the last person on their big board. Yep. So I really think it's going to be 6, man. I was thinking 7 myself. Okay. I got you. All right. So now the one thing that I will say, when it comes to, and hold on, I'm supposed to put okay, Palmetto Money. He said, what's your take on the defense? I'm not sure if we get enough pressure on the other defense and QB. Okay. Now, mind you, well, from what I've seen during the preseason, okay, I have seen Pat Jones. I have seen DJ Wanham. I've seen Nick Scorton. I've seen Princely Umanamielen. I've seen them be able to get close to the quarterback. Okay. But when I say close, go back to the clip I was saying, and when I was talking about the parking lot defense. Okay. A lot of these quarterbacks are taking their drops, and when they put that back foot down, the ball is gone. Okay, it's not a lot of times where they have, where the defense is just like, I'm sorry, the coverage is locking down all the receivers, and and I know that they need to be able to get pressure from the jump. Okay, but you look back at a lot of those games, they are close. They're right there at the quarterback. But like I said, when that quarterback takes his drop back and plants that back foot, that ball is gone. Okay. And like I say, they're always dinking and dunking down the field. And they're literally taking what the Panthers defense gives them. Okay. And then when it's like, all right, bet, well, you know what? This man done caught 3 passes in a row for 4 or 5 yards. Let me ease up on him. You know what they do? They go over the top, stop and go. All right. Slant and go, whatever you want to call it. All right. Boom, gone. We saw it in the game versus Pittsburgh. Skylar Thompson came in there balling, throwing touchdowns from the jump. Okay. But that's, now, mind you, that should be a lot better. You got J.C. Horn back there, Mike Jack, Shaw Smith Wade, Trayvon Merrick, and hopefully Damani Richardson and not Nick Scott. Okay. But I think as the season goes, well, not think, I hope as the season goes on that they'll be able to get more pressure. But from what I've seen right now, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say that they're not going to get any pressure. And like I said, in this preseason games, but even though from the joint practices, okay. Now I did hear where the Panthers defense got quite a few coverage sacks on CJ Stroud, and I heard that from the Texans reporter, on X. Okay, so now mind you, whether that will translate or transfer over into the regular season, that's yet to be seen. Okay, but if Evero is out there playing his cornerbacks, 9-10 yards off the line of scrimmage, especially on like third downs and stuff. I mean, I always joke with Tony about this. I said, hell, me and him could go out there if he throw me the ball. I mean, I can I can wobble my big ass out there and run a quick out route and catch a pass. If the corners are 10-12 yards back, you know what I mean? But like I said, that's just my thinking on it. That's just my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see. But I can't sit here with a straight face and disagree with you right now and be like, oh no, it'll be fine. We're gonna get a crap ton of pressure come the regular season. I can't sit here and say that right now. So, but yeah, but we'll see. All right. Let me see. Hey, thank you again, Flame, man. Yeah, bro. Hey, I appreciate it, dog. Like I said, I got to get you something. So I don't watch the lives on the Blueprint no more. I hear you. I hear them all. I hear them from you all. Ha! Okay, Flame. Okay, I got you. Doug said, "Well, damn, Flame. Jeez, okay, noted." Oh my God, yo. Rock Jones said, Tone, we miss you, brother. Hey, let me tell you, Tone will be back more during the regular season. I'm gonna have him come back on here. You don't have to miss him too much longer, Rock. Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back. Right. Hey, look, you got a message, Rock. Said we gotta focus on the here and now. All right, but those are outside linebackers. Like I said, Jones, Wanham, Scored, and Umami Yellen locks. If they keep five, yeah, I think it's going to be between Thomas Incoom and DJ Johnson. And me personally, I'd probably see what we do with Incoom. Oh, okay. But like I said, that was Evero's pick, so it's probably a good chance that Johnson is going to be that fifth guy to keep five. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. All right, linebackers. Okay, so got a bit of a curveball since the last time I put these slides up. We had Josie Jewell on here. Okay, Josie Jewell is now gone. We have Trevin Wallace, Christian Roseboom, which Christian Roseboom is now going to have the green dot. So he is going to be calling the plays and making sure everybody gets where they needs to be. I'm sorry, not calling the plays, but receiving the plays from the coordinator. Okay, you got Jacoby Wyndham, who played a little bit at the end of last year and did okay. Claudia Shirellis, you got John Radigan, Bam Martin Scott, and Chris Barnes. Okay. Now, if they keep five linebackers, I say Wallace, Roseboom, Wyndham, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't dislike Shirellis, but I wouldn't be all that upset if he if he wasn't included in that number. Okay. Now they did sign Chris Barnes here during the offseason. He started some games last year, I think some games over the past 2 years for the Arizona Cardinals. So there's another veteran presence, in that linebacker room. I do think that he will probably end up making the team as well. I got him down there at the bottom just because that's where I put the picture at. But Shirellis, man, he's been on this team for, let me see. I got over the cap up right here. Let me see. He's been with the Panthers. Okay, well, since 2023. So this is the last year of the contract that he had with the Panthers according to over the cap. All right, but I just I don't know. Besides the secondary, this room right here probably has the second most questions for me. Okay. Um, you know, what's Roseboom going to be able to do? We all know that he runs all over the field. Okay, he can tackle. But is he going to be that that field general out there, make sure that everybody is in place? Okay. what is Trevor Wallace's progression from last season, to this season. You see tape and you see a lot of times where he is out of position, where and even sometimes I think he was put in spots where he had to pick and choose, somebody to go and guard, and it was a no-win situation. If he went left, they're going right. If he go right, they're throwing the ball left. So we'll see how they move and how they gel, with each other. Is this the inside linebacker room that, I think we deserve as a team? Not really. Okay. I think Trevin Wallace was more of a developmental piece, that probably needed a season or two behind some solid starting linebackers to get himself where he needs to be. Um, who was it? Oh hell, Ezrin Cooper. I'm not even gonna lie. I wanted Ezrin Cooper, and I think we took Jonathan Brooks, and then Ezrin Cooper went right after that, or a couple spots after that, to Green Bay. You know what I mean? And that was who I was wanting for in that particular draft. So the Panthers have had opportunities to kind of solidify this linebacker room, and I think they have. I think they've missed the ball on it. Because we could have done this in the draft. You know what I mean? They brought in Josie Jewell, but now Josie Jewell is hurt with the concussions and stuff, and he is not on the team anymore. And Evero likes to bring in these players that have played for him and that quote unquote, know this defense. Okay. But my thing is, you might be able to go draft or go sign another player who can come in and learn your defense and be able to play it better than the people you have or the people that you've had before who quote unquote, know your defense. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, I'm not saying anything like just bad or dismissive of Wallace and Roseboom. I think they'll be okay. But, this is one of those, okay, so we have drafted for wide receivers, running backs. We have drafted oh my goodness, last couple years. Oh goodness. Wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, no offensive linemen, a few defensive linemen. Like I said, we got Wallace, but he was a third round pick. But this is one of those position groups where, if they're going to replace it in the draft, they need to make it a higher priority, higher up in the draft. Like the linebacker room and oh God, who was the other one? Something like safety room. Okay. And a lot of people, so we spent the first round pick on offense, in the past in the past two drafts. Okay. So we spent our first round picks on offense. Going forward, I think they need to try and devote some more of these um draft picks to the defense earlier on in the draft. Okay. Now, mind you, now they did go defensive. I'm sorry, outside linebacker with the second and third pick. Of this draft, but I have heard a lot of rumblings where people talking about Ted McMillan. Ted McMillan was the number one overall pick, and we should have spent that on a defensive player. And I'm not gonna lie, I love Ted McMillan. Okay, now, but I wasn't. That's who I did not think that they would pick at that number 8 spot. I thought it would have been a defensive player for sure. But here we are now. But I'm not debating Roseboom and Wallace's ability to, you know, diagnose plays and tackle. And when it comes to the run game, now mind you, we got to see how these guys are going to do in Evero's scheme as far as when they have to drop back into coverage. I think that's going to be the biggest thing for this linebacker room because we had Luke Kuechly for all those years. Luke Kuechly was great at diagnosing run plays and hitting the hole. Okay, he was great at diagnosing plays and coverage. I mean, the man was a machine. He would call out offensive plays and would always be in the right spot at the right time. We have not had that in Carolina since then. Okay. And I do think that that's something that they need to do coming up in the future years, especially in the draft. But like I was saying, I think it's gonna be Wallace, Roseboom, your two starters. Then you're gonna have Wyndham. I think Barnes will make it, and it'll probably be Shirellis. It'll probably be Shirellis. I was high on Bam Martin Scott, but I don't know if he's done enough in the offseason to get that job. So we'll see. Um, So Flame for Jesus, man, thank you for another $5 super chat. Said some just told me all GMs do that. Give me Philadelphia's GM or Kansas City GM. They are much better at building with journeymen. Oh, okay, all right, I got you. Now, I don't disagree with that, but it's 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 who the journeymen are. You know what I mean? Who the journeymen are, how they fit into this scheme, and sometimes it's like the journeymen they were trash with where they came from. You know, and it's just like sometimes it's like, what makes you think that you're going to be able to get them out of the bottom of the dumpster and dust them off and make them shine like gold again? So that's my thought process on it. Now mind you, okay, mind you, that has happened before. I'm not saying it hasn't. But how often has that happened here in Carolina for us recently? Recently, okay. But yeah, but I got you, Flame. And again, appreciate the $5 super chat, man. Thank you. Uh, Let me see. Oh, I'll say it's a guy give Flame for Jesus honest credit on that last super chat. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Let me see. It goes, what's up in the cars? Insert joke here. Bartholomew not only getting cut, he been getting stabbed too. Wow. Your next slide shouldn't have a pic of Nick Scott. It should say MIA his place. Oh my goodness. Should we claim Shaq if Buffalo cut him because this is nasty work? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. If they cut Shaq Thompson, I would not be mad if the Panthers wouldn't pick them up. I would not be mad at it at all whatsoever. Not in the least bit. I know there are a lot of people would be like, CJ, no, no. Now let me tell you, if Shaq was cut and the Panthers went and got him, I wouldn't be mad at it at all. Not at all. Not at all. All right, cool beans. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. And now we're at the cornerback. So, Rod Jones, we are one more slide away from what you just said. Oh, the card says Shaq not subject to waivers, but we would be able to sign him. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So JC, Mike Jack, and Shaw Smith Wade. All right. Corey Thornton has definitely worked his way onto this roster. All right. Corey Thornton has looked really good out here in preseason. He has been covering fast receivers. He's been covering, receivers that are bigger than him. And he's done a good job. He's definitely done a good job. And shout out to them finding another undrafted free agent that has come in here and has looked good, because this room was one of my kind of positions for the Panthers coming into this season. Okay, because I did feel like that was a need and something we should have went out and got more, as far as free agency or in the draft as well. Okay, I think I did a lot of mock drafts where I took a cornerback. Will Johnson. Is it Will Johnson from Michigan that went to the Cardinals? I mean, I had a lot of drafts where I took him at number 8. Okay, sometimes I would trade back a few spots and still pick him up. All right, but Shao Smith Wade has impressed everybody in the off season, OTAs, camp, workouts, all that good stuff. Corey Thornton has been another one that has impressed, and it's crazy because I heard a lot of good stuff about Bartholomew, as well during the off season workouts and all that. But to my opinion, that hasn't really translated that much to what we've seen in the preseason. Okay. Caleb Evans, Mike Reed, and Broughton. And Mello Dotson is also Mello Dotson and another player. They're on the depth chart as like the 6th and 7th string or 5th and 6th string or something like that. And I just didn't feel like making no room on the slide for them. Because I don't think at this point they're going to be on the team. Okay. But yeah, you got Horn, Jack, Shao Smith Wade, Thornton. I think they're all locks. And I think it's gonna come down to Evans and Bartholomew if they decide to keep 5. Okay. One thing I do hope is that JC Horn will be able to potentially travel a little bit more. I say that as a hope, and I mean just pure hope, because I don't think it's going to happen. Okay. That's not Evero's scheme from what it looks like. Whatever side of the field JC Horn is going to be on, that's who he's going to be covering. Okay. Mike Jack. I've always said this about Mike Jackson, and Doug always picks at me about this. I always say that Mike Jackson's cool as long as you got safety over the top. Okay. And we saw this first game of the season last year when my man from New Orleans got by him, got the touchdown, and then you saw Mike Jackson kind of look back like bro, like where you at? You supposed to be over the top. Rashid, my man from New Orleans. So, but yeah, and we'll see how this goes. Hopefully the cornerbacks and the safeties can get more, on the same page this season than they were a year ago. All right. Okay, so moving on to Rock Jones' favorite slide. All right. Now I got Nick Scott up here because he is the starter on the depth chart. Okay. And from everything that I've seen, he will probably be the starter when the season starts. All right. But the thing that I do like is that we have Damani Richardson and we have Lathan Ransom. Okay. I saw a lot of good things out of Damani Richardson towards the end of the season, and we've seen a lot of good things out of Lathan Ransom in the preseason. Okay. When we were at the game the other night, I also saw him line up in kind of like that I guess that maybe like that big nickel spot, like they like to call it. Something that Evero said that you would see some of his safeties. He was talking about Morgan. No, he's talking about Ransom at the time. Being lined up in that big nickel spot, and Trayvon Moore too as well. So we'll see. One thing Lathan Ransom can do, he can fill a hole and he can make a tackle. Okay, we saw that in the Steelers game. Now how they use these guys it's yet to be seen, but all I can do is hope that Nick Scott gets out there and does what he's supposed to do. Okay, and I'll say the same thing for Trayvon Murray too. But he's more of a box safety, more of a run stopper. But the thing is, Nick Scott being our free safety, he's gotta be where he's supposed to be. Okay, we can't have him out there looking like he did last year. We absolutely can't. But hopefully, if he doesn't show up and doesn't do any better, they will not hesitate to put Richardson in. Okay, and I do think there are a lot of you're probably going to see a lot of formations where you have a Morig and Scott, in the back, and one of these other backup safeties, down at the line of scrimmage. So I do think it's going to be a little bit more variations in the way that these safeties are lined up in Evero's defense this year, from my perspective. Okay. Flame, thank you for another super chat, man. He said that is if you have a safety that can be in the right place. I totally agree. Totally agree. Totally agree. Yep, I feel you. And thank you again, man. Will said this is where player development will be key to our rebuild. Yes. And I'm glad you said rebuild because I think that when Dan took the GM job, he said that it's going to be 2 or 3 years. Okay, so we're in what is this, year 2 of it? Okay, last year, now you got this year. Hopefully what we have done on the offensive side of the ball, as far as the offensive line, the wide receivers, the running back, we brought in Rico Dowdle. Okay, we drafted Trevor Etienne. Hopefully that pays dividends this year. All right. And then after that, they continue to build. And then next year, might be one of those drafts where who was it? Matt Rule, if I'm not mistaken, was this first draft all defense. Now I'm not saying the draft gonna be all defense, but I do think they're going to be able to focus more on the defensive side of the ball. And with the moves that they're making, extending Taylor Moton, okay, if they trade Adam Thielen or not, hopefully that'll put them in a better spot for next year as far as the salary cap. But then you also got to think about Icky's going to be coming up for a new contract. He already picked up his fifth year his fifth year option. Okay, but he's going to be due for a contract. So there's a lot of things behind the scenes. We say, and I know I just said, we might be moving some money around. Maybe they're going after Trey Hendrickson. Maybe they're moving this money around for next year. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. 25 Gifford. How did he even get on the field? Cut, no calls, paper or plastic. Now I heard some good things about Henderson, but I haven't heard anything about Gifford any kind of which way. He didn't look all that great out there Thursday night either. So And as another creation says, please, y'all, don't forget to like, subscribe, become a member of the front office, and turn on those notifications so you know when we go live or when I put a video out for you to enjoy. Okay. And again, thank you, dear. I appreciate that. Austin Wright said, Mr. Hunky Door, he was on the field at the Steelers game. Yes, he was out there playing against the Steelers. Yep. All right. But yeah, this is our safety room. Um, you know, and like I said, and I try not to bash on players, especially when I'm just sitting here in my chair and I'm not a football player. I'm not out there doing the type of stuff they doing. But we all got eyes. We all got eyes. We can all see exactly what we saw on the field last year. So I'm just leaving it at that. All right. Okay. Special teams. All right. Fitzgerald, Wright, Martin, and Jansen. Okay. I think it's going to be hold on one second. Thank you again, Flame. For another file super chat said we still had to go cheap on defense during the free agency. It may be better, but I don't look for maybe but a 5 to 7. Okay, ranking difference. I got you. Well, I put it like this. Hey, 5 to 7 is let me tell you. Shoot. Let me see. We were 32. So 27 and 25 is definitely better than 32. But I do feel you though. I do feel you. I still don't want us to be that far down as far as the defense goes. Now they did try to make a big splash at the beginning of free agency when they tried to get Milton Williams in here. And then, the Patriots came in the last minute with their, $40 billion in cap space and was like, nah, player, here's an extra 20. Come on up here to Foxborough. So I would say they did try. I give them credit for trying, but we'll see. I agree. I agree. I hope it's better. And I don't think we went as cheap as we have done in years past. Okay. I definitely think they put more effort and brought in better players this year in free agency on defense than they've had in the past 2 years. Okay. I definitely believe that. All right. But we do have to see whether this whole whether this defense, how they're going to be and what they're going to be like. Because now, and I've said this, I don't know if I put a post on X or whatnot or replying to somebody's comment, and I think that most of y'all will agree with this. Okay. The offense is going to have to carry the defense this year. Okay. If we are going to go out there and we're going to make a push for the playoffs, Bryce Young in the offense has to carry this defense. Okay. I think they absolutely have to. Absolutely have to. Okay. Because the thing is, I know a lot of discussion lately has been about 3-and-outs. And Flame, I know you talk about 3-and-outs all the time. Okay. Now, mind you, yes, there were a lot of 3-and-outs, by this offense. Okay. And I also would say this too: the defense didn't do themselves any favors because they were getting drugged down the field from the jump in games. Some of these games, I don't believe it was because it was the complete fault of 3-and-outs before the defense looked bad. Not saying that isn't a factor into it, because I know it is. That the more they're out there, the more tired they're getting. But our defense was getting the work handed to them from the jump in games. Okay, sometimes it didn't take long. It didn't take but a couple, a series or a couple series for the opposing team to drive 60, 70, 80 yards down the field and score a touchdown. Okay, but like I said, the offense on this team has got to step up and carry this defense, because this defense is not at a point yet where we can say, okay, we're going to go out here and the defense is going to be who we rely on. Okay, in certain situations, because we saw that last year. If the offense went down the field and scored late in the game and got up, and put the and we took the lead, the defense was never able to hold that lead. It was always right back down the field. Opposing team score, game over. All right, so we'll see. But again, Flame, thank you for another $5 super chat, man. I appreciate you. Brock Jones said, "Call like you see, CJ. No shame. Nah, it's not shame. It's not shame at all, man. It's just the fact that like I said, I'm not an NFL player, and I'm on here talking about these guys that do this for a living. I try to I try to be respectful and how I analyze these things, you know. But yeah, I got you though. I got you. House Nicholas is going on. So what's good, CJ? So will you go live on a fantasy league draft night? You know what? I didn't I didn't think about that. I might. I just might. That probably would be fun though. Okay. That probably would be fun. Um it might be, I'm trying to think because my birthday is next weekend. I'm probably not going to do it on my birthday. Um but we got to get the league full first. We got to get the league full for. Oh, and for those of y'all who have come in late, especially the members of the front office, there is a front office fantasy football league. The link is in the chat. Okay, and let me scroll back up to the top here, and I will pin it to the top of the chat. Okay. So if you haven't already, if you want to join the front office fantasy league, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. But I might, I just might, House Nicholas, but we'll see. I'll let y'all know. Flame, man, thank you for $10 super chat this time. He said, you took the words right out of my mouth. The offense will have to carry this defense. I told you that this defense would be historically bad before preseason even started. Okay, yeah, I agree. Now, Flame, I don't agree that this defense will be as bad as what we had last year. I think I see enough improvement to say that we are not going to be as bad as we were last year on defense, but I can't with a straight face say we're going to be this good or that good. I can't put a number to it. I can only hope. I just hope this defense can be average or somewhat close to average. Just not at, not at the bottom of the barrel, just looking at everybody like, dang, y'all really playing football up there, huh? So yeah, but we'll see. But again, man, thank you, Flame for Jesus. I appreciate you, dog, as always. Said don't tempt him. He likes hitting the live button. You damn right. Hey, I sure do. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. I had to get used to being on live up here, by myself. And it was I will be honest, it was hard at first. I swear it was. It was hard at first. I already be up here, and, stumbling words and crap and this and that and the third. Y'all know how I do. But yeah, Doug is right. I do like hitting that live button, man. I swear I do. Said Flame, can we get a new dinner plate pick? Nah, Rock. No, let me tell you. Now I like that plate. That looks like I see a roll, I see chicken, I see some baked beans right there. I think that's some rice or some coleslaw. That's my type of meal right there, big dog. You leave that picture right there when you got it, Flame. I'm all for that, big dog. I love me some baked beans, man. I swear I do. Let me see. I always said I was talking about last year. Yeah, I got you. Kenny S says 2 and 15 plus 5 and 12 equals 7 and 10, 10 and 7. Man, let me tell you, I hope so. I hope so. And it's wild you say that like that because I said that this year I believe our floor is around 6 games and our ceiling is around 10. Okay. But yeah, I think I think I think we can at least get 6 games this year. On the good side of things, I think we might be able to win 10. Okay, but we'll see. We'll see. Nella said, "Flame for Jesus is about 20 away from covering the water bill." Oh my God. Yeah, man, pretty much. Appreciate you, Flame. I say you still are and be forget. I'll be forgotten stuff, Doug. Did you forget how to type? Oh, good, sir. Can you please do it on your birthday, late as possible? Hopefully, you'll be nice drunk and will feel real confident in your picks. No, sir. No, sir. Oh God, we got the accountant in the back counting. Yes, we do. Said, "Nah, Flame going for the light bill." Too late, Doug. Too late. Too late. Too late. Too late. All right, but yeah, I'm sorry. Let me get back to the specialist here. Jansen is our long snapper for the last 47 years. Martin is going to be our punter. I think Fitzgerald is going to be the kicker. I think Wright's going to get cut. And ETN and Jimmy Horn Jr. will be our return specialist. ETN on punt return and Horn on the kickoffs. I think that's how that is going to go. Okay. Uncle Leroy, what's going on with you? Nephew Payne. How you doing, big dog? All right, y'all. Okay, so that is my roster predictions. Okay. And we'll see how that goes. Now I know there have been quite a few teams that have already started making cuts. Okay. Quite a few. The Giants made some cuts. Um, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Flame said, "Here's five more." So I'm giving us 5 wins. Prove me wrong, Bryce Young 9. Hey, I got you. Thank you, thank you, Flame. Jesus, I appreciate you. Hey, look, we be able to take showers until next month, thanks to you, Flame. All right, but yeah, that's my predictions on the roster. And leave a little wiggle room for what may or may not happen. I think a lot of those are pretty cut and clear. There are quite a few, we're still going to be kind of waiting on. The wide receiver room is a big one, whether we keep 7 wide receivers or keep 6. And if I'm not mistaken, last year they kept 5, and then they brought somebody up from the practice squad after the regular season started. Um, but yeah, but I do think it'll definitely be 6 by the time we get down to the cuts in the first game of the season. What they're going to do on the defensive side of the ball, I think it's probably the big thing. Who they keep, who they cut, and we'll just have to see. We'll just absolutely have to see. But I appreciate everybody who joined me today. And real quick, y'all, I know there's a lot of people in here right now who didn't get to see this before, but as a family man, I'm going to show off my family again. My kids turned 16 this past week. Okay, my twins, James and Layla. So I'm gonna show this picture here. Okay, so of course that's me on the left. Nella's Creations is right there next to me by my side as always. So James the third is my son. He's back there with the locks in his hair. My daughter Layla is right there up front, and my oldest son Cameron. And by the way, hold up, wait a minute, I forgot to mention this right here. Lord, I'm so sorry. Let me tell you, my boy Cameron, right there with the glasses on. He is the head drum major at North Carolina Central University. Hey, shout out to my boy. I'm so proud of him. So proud of him. So proud of him. This joker started on the bass drum in high school. He started on the bass drum. He moved up to tuba. He started at Central as a tuba player. Okay. And then he went out. He became one of the drum majors. All right. He became one of the drum majors. But this year, my big boy right there, Cameron, he is the head drum major at North Carolina Central University. All right. So proud of him. So proud. I got a head drum major. I got 2 16-year-old twins. I got that fine thing by my side, and then there's me over in the corner with not a smile on my face. But that's okay though. All right. But yeah, good times, good things going on, man. But yeah, but congrats to all of them. My baby's a 16. My big boy, he's in his last year of college. And yeah, and I'm a happy man. And if I'm not mistaken, Central is playing Southern today down in Atlanta. So I'm definitely gonna try to catch that game here after what's that? Okay, 7:30 on ABC. All right, so make sure y'all catch the halftime show. Watch my boy Cameron out there doing this thing. All right. Hey, appreciate you. Hold on. What did Doug say? Oh, I'm taking a screenshot of this. He thinks he's Suge Knight. Well, hey, 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 it's all good. I'm glad you think that. I know you won't try me. uh, hold on. Wait a minute. Breaking news. PPP is just signed a 1-year deal with the Panthers to play shot tunnel. Let's go. Oh my God. That would be that would be hilarious. Oh, hey, shout out to you again, Flame. You said, we are family here in Pantherland. Stay blessed. Stay safe, everyone. I keep you all in my prayers. Yes, sir. Hey, same to you, Flame, man. I appreciate you, big dog. Keep you in my prayers as well, man. Let's see. Uncle Lyra said, what they say, nephew Doug, won't start no stuff, won't be no stuff. Hey, let me tell you, Doug's a good dude. Doug all talk. Doug know I bop him over top of the head and lay him out. It's all good. All right. And he gonna call me as soon as I go off live for saying that too. Hey, but okay, so there's 106 of y'all watching over 3 different platforms: YouTube, Facebook, and Twix. That's a mixture of Twitter and X. Haven't said that in a while. But before we get up out of here, please make sure y'all hit that like button on Facebook. Follow me on X. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. Shout out to Flame for Jesus for all the super chats, for the 20 gifted memberships. Shout out to everybody else in the chat. I greatly appreciate y'all. Thank you. But yeah, y'all can check me out on all social media at Armchair GMCJ. I appreciate all the love and the support. Okay. And as always, Panther Nation, I'm going to leave y'all with 3 things. Number 1, y'all be good. Number 2, y'all be safe. And like I like to do now. And number 3, as always, Panther Nation, keep pounding, man. I'll see you.